Story of Florence Nightingale. The value of compassion. Florence Nightingale was named after her birthplace, Florence, Italy. When almost 1 year old, she returned with her family to England. Their house was always full of friends and family. Florence would look after children by inventing games and making sure they didn't get hurt. She also did whatever she could to help injured horses or sick cats. She cared for wounded birds until they can manage themselves. Her father reminded her, "Don't let her compassionate heart make her forget about her lesson." Florence often helped her mother deliver food to the poor around their estate. Her heart was a cheat at the misery in which some of them lived. When she grew older, she visited them on her own, especially the sick. She wanted to make them well, so Florence decided to become a nurse. Her family was shocked because nursing wasn't a respected profession, but Florence determined and studied books about medicine. One day she persuaded a doctor show her around a London hospital. She was shocked about the dirty and uncared for patients, the filthy, worn and bad and rats flowing out. To change all of this, Florence knew she had a lot to learn from nursing, so she visited the hospital in France, Germany, and Ireland and learned everything she could. When returning home, she was an expert on hospital management. In 1853, Florence agreed to take over a small London hospital. The biggest problem was finding good trained nurses, so she decided to train them by herself. Soon people began to study her method of nursing, sanitation, and hospital organization. About a year later, England became involved in a war against Russia. Then the newspaper full of stories about the terrible condition the wounded and sick soldiers were suffering. Sending Herbert, the Secretary of War, asked Florence to help look after the wounded and sick. Needless to say, Florence agreed to go. When Florence and nurses arrived the British hospital in Secretary in modern-day Istanbul, they were shocked. They were horrified. This hospital left men lie on the floor and rats were running everywhere. No running water and no heat. Many soldiers died before receiving help. In spite of the shortage of staff, but doctors won't listen to her. They didn't like the idea of the women in army hospital until one day 500 unexpected wounded arrived. Doctors soon realized
伤亡人员再一次 wounded 另一种 C 开头 casualties
arrived. Doctors soon realized Florence knew what she was doing. She do change and arrange better sanitation. Above all, Florence made sure these men were washed and their wounded were cared for. Every night she would walk through the ward with her lamp. Reporters, including the famous London Times reporter William Howard Ross,
那个
sometimes
记者两个不一样，这次用别的
reporter
journalist
journalist William Howard
两
Ross
种都要记，知道吗？
sometimes stopped as secretary. Her story made Florence famous throughout England. One day, Florence crossed to the sea to the war-torn Crimea. When there, she became very ill, close to death. When this news spread, British soldiers everywhere were praying for her recovery. Finally,
or eventually
her fever broke, and when she was strong enough, Florence began to walk. After the war, when she returned home, Florence surprised that people knew her. A firm has
people 什么 her
people
认得再一次 recognize
people recognize her. A firm has ever been set up in her honor. She had many soldiers she had. Nurse had made contributions. Now she can set up Nightingale training school in London. After years hard work, Florence Nightingale see the army barrack become less crowded and soldiers' health improve. Hospital become clean and cheerful. Nursing become an honor profession. All of this is because of the compassion of the lady with the lights.
好。